All right, let's get this thing started, shall we? Here we go. Let's see. I think everyone's here. Rose is here. Heather's here. Glenda's here. Hey, good evening. Welcome to episode 250 of Wise Advice. Good to see you guys again. Happy Friday from Ann Arbor, west of Ann Arbor. Joyce says over on YouTube. Karen's here. Glenda's here. I saw Marcia pop in earlier. Lee is here. Looks like Kelly's here. Paula. Who else? Diane, I got you. Kathy is here. Jody says, happy Friday from Westport, Mass. Woohoo! Supporting the Patriots. If you guys don't want to tune in tonight because of the Patriots jersey, I get it. But it's what I wore to work today, and I still have it on. So, Dan checks in from Winnipeg. We've officially gone international out of Winnipeg. Oh, man. I don't even want to ever visit Winnipeg, man. You make it sound so enjoyable. Connie's here. Kathy, good evening to you. Man, it was going to be a great show. I have a lot of updating to do, a lot to catch up on. Jody says, love your shirt. So very cool. Thank you. Georgine says, hello, good evening to you. Susan checks in out of California. Let's see. Austin, Jennifer checks in. Very, very nice. So, yeah, got a lot to catch up on. If you guys saw my post in the WhysWingman group, you know what's going on. For the next 3 or 4 days, I will be MIA, taking care of some much more important things in life. So that's kind of my goal for the next 4 days, is just to completely unplug. So the less you see me the next 4 days, the better. If you end up seeing me somewhere, that means I don't know what that means. It's not good. Anyway, so Carolyn's here. Good evening to you. Diane is here. Pennsylvania. Catherine. Good evening to you. Joanne says, Patriots, maybe I'll just listen and not watch. I get it. You know, I'm from New England. I lived there for most of my life, and then so from there moved to San Antonio, and then of course now Indianapolis. So I can't give up on the Patriots. Aloha, Wendy and Travis check in from Hawaii. Hopefully you're having a blast. The pictures you keep posting look fantastic. You make it seem so like a vacation or something. So yeah, I think that's the game plan. Get out to Hawaii as quick as possible. Barbara in Atlanta, can't wait to see you. Got an update on Atlanta. That's coming up real soon. I'll get you an update as to. So as you know, we rolled through Houston. Houston was a blast. I'm going to update you on that, and then I'll tell you the deal with Atlanta. I'll tell you what's going on there, and that's so stick around for that, for sure. For those of you just checking in, what we do, we spend about 10-15 minutes saying hi to everyone, getting comfortable, getting acquainted, and you guys say hi to each other. We build the community, and then in a couple more minutes, I will actually record episode 250. You guys get to hang out and watch, and then after I record episode 250, we come back to here and answer any questions you have about that. Dan says, my favorite line ever, and I love it, Dan. Dan said, there's no such thing as too cold. And I agree with that. So the actual quote that I say, the way I say it, Dan, is there's no such thing as bad weather. When it comes to exercise and fitness, no such thing as bad weather. There are, however, bad clothing choices for the current conditions. That's a whole different conversation. We talked about this in my workshop the other night. I asked the folks if they'd done any outside activity, and they said, oh, it's too cold. Way too cold. Way too cold. And then I asked them, I said, well, did any of you shovel the driveway? Well, yeah. I said, well, did you do it in tennis shoes and workout gear? No, I put on a jacket and gloves and hat and mittens. Right. I asked them, how long were you outside? 20, 30 minutes. Right. So do you think you could put on the same jacket, hats, mittens, and go for a walk for 10 minutes? Yes, you could, if you wanted to. No such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing choices for the current conditions. So keep that in mind. And then the other thing I asked them, was, is if you guys, many of you remember back in June and July and August, it was, it's too hot. So now we have, it's too hot, it's too cold. I've determined there are 3 days a year that is actually perfect to work out in. So you can either dress for the other, 362 of them, or you cannot, but there's only 3 perfect days a year to work out. So if you're going to get some deliberate workout in, you're going to have to dress appropriately for whatever conditions. And that's exactly what Dan does. I love seeing his posts. His face is always frozen. It doesn't look appetizing, but I promise you when he's done, he enjoys it, so very nice. Let's see. So Paula's here. Cindy, good evening to you. Maggie says, I love the cold, but going to Arizona for a break. That I understand, too. Wendy says, we're heading back tomorrow. You'll be crying the blues. Yeah, so tomorrow morning we have an early flight. Our flight leaves at 6 a.m., so that means we got to be up at 4, and then got to be in the road by 4:30. Whew. Which means this will not be a 2 or 3 hour show tonight. It's just not even possible to get that done. Shannon said, that's why I work out in a climate-controlled gym or my house. Perfect. Yep, that's a great answer, too. So very, very nice. Gayla says, my first live. Yay, we have a bell we ring. If it's your very first show, we ring a bell for you. So there you go. Gayla, good evening to you. Welcome. So just to get you caught up, what we do, we spend 10, 15 minutes, whatever it is, just chatting. After that, we'll go into whatever the show's about. Tonight, we're going to talk about some really sad news. Something I figured out tonight that I'm not happy to let you guys know, but I think I need to let you know that. We're going to start with that. And then we'll talk about, I'll give a great recap of Houston, and then we'll talk about Atlanta, and then I actually have Kristen coming up on the show as well. So that's the game plan for episode 250. It's going to be a good show, I think. Always is when you guys are hanging out with us, so it's very nice. So that's the game plan anyway for episode 250. 2 more days of the trial on this, so you have to let me know if you like this format with the screen thingies and the Patreon windows and all that kind of stuff. If you like that type of stuff and you want that to continue, I just need to know. Otherwise, because in like 2 days, which is I'll be gone. So by the time I come back next week, I have to make a decision if I want to purchase the software system that gives me all these screen overlays. I like them. I think they're kind of cool. It makes it very easy for me to stream to multiple devices from one camera. I like that, but I don't know if you guys, care or not. I think it looks good. So we'll have to see what you think. You can tell me now, or you can certainly shoot me an email. Marcia likes it. It's not too busy. Marcia, is that okay? The screen's not too busy for you? Becky says she likes it too, so that's good. Jane says, whoop whoop, episode 250. Yeah, I'm excited about 250. 250, that's kind of a milestone, right? So, all right, so you guys all like it, so that's good. So I'll shell out the $500 to get this software to make it work. So Judy says, continue everything you're doing except for the Patriots shirt. I tell you, if the Patriots win the Super Bowl, we will go live right after the game wearing this. Promise you. I don't know. Fun. Kathleen says it looks professional. Yeah, I'm tricky. So very nice. Maria says, are you going to New York in March? Yes, March 23rd and 4th, I will be in New York City. That is the game plan for now. That's coming up. So very nice. Kathy says, they are cool. You need to decide if the cost is worth it. Yep. And that's the decision I need to make. I got to evaluate it for 30 days to determine if I liked it. I'll tell you the things that I like about it is it does make it look more professional, right? So if someone's watching the replay, it steps it up a little bit. I actually, I also like the ability to have one camera, multiple devices. Yeah, Alicia, it is a one-time purchase. It's not a monthly subscription. It's a one-time purchase of $500. And so, yeah. Delilah says, shall we chip in for a Ram shirt? I tell you what, if the Rams win, I will wear a Ram shirt. I have no issue with that. However, I would encourage you not to spend money on that. It's just silly. If you have one, and it ends up here, whatever, great. If the Rams win, I will gladly do a show wearing a Rams jersey. But I tell you, honestly, save your money, right? I mean, I get no issue wearing it, so it's not like it's going to be fun. Like, I'll put it on, don't care. It doesn't matter to me. So save your money. Maybe I'll put a Rams logo on the screen instead. That way you don't have to spend any money to send me a shirt. It's just kind of silly. So Barbara says it takes it to the next level, which is what I thought as well. So thank you. And Karen again chimes in that it's professional. So and Jamie says it's all good because the Pats will win anyways, right? I'm not that guy. Like, I want them to win. There's no question about it, right? But I'm not that guy that I don't know. I haven't watched enough football games this year to know which team's better. I know I want the Patriots to win, and if they win, great. If they don't win, great. We're going to move on. I promise you I'll wake up the next morning, hop on the scale, and not care. the game, I forgot last year's game already. So, it's just about that. All right. Are you ready? Episode 250. Shall we get this thing done? Shall we get it in the books? I think if we get it done earlier, then what'll happen is that gives me more time to hang out after until it's time to go pack up everything. My poor wife right now is upstairs packing, and I should be doing that. So I'm probably in a little trouble after I get off the podcast, but that's okay. We're going to hang out for 3 or 4 days together, and I will apologize a lot for 3 days. So Jane says, looking good, Dag. Thank you. Feeling really good. It's a journey, right? So, I always, looking good is great, but feeling good is where it's at. So I felt good for a long time. So that's kind of cool. All right. Episode 250. Again, we're going to open up with sad news. I need to make a note here of what I want to hit. And you're not going to like the sad news, I promise you. All right. Cool. All right, let's do this. Episode 250. Water, right? We have water. Is that what we do? I think we all get some water. Yeah, Judy says sad news. Yikes. Yeah, it's actually kind of devastating news. Really, it's not even just sad. It's actually is devastating the right word? I think devastating is the word I'm going to use. You'll hear about it during the show. I have to put it in the podcast. It's something I've got to let you guys know. Major changes. So, anyway. Glenda says, be careful where you wear a Rams jersey. Yep. All right. Helen said, yes, I made it. I didn't think so, but here I am. Helen, you are here. Welcome. All right, get your water ready. Let's do episode 250. Lee says, Lee is guessing on the bad news, and it's FatDag is no longer traveling to Guam. That is true, but that's not the bad news. That is not the bad news. So here we go. We have a vintage water here. This is a 2019. This is a really, really popular year for water. Comes straight out of the tap out of Carmel, Indiana. Freshly brewed. It's been sitting chilled in the refrigerator for, for probably 36 hours now. So it's just an incredible sample. Let's give it a taste, shall we? Let's do this. Cheers. Didn't take it out early enough. Brain freeze. Whew. That was yummy. Hey, I tell you, it makes my brain freeze. I'll be okay. I will be okay. There we go. That sounds better. Check. Mic check. And we're officially recording. I know I forget that all the time. So I got Karen. I know you're going to remind me. Delilah says, great pop on that one. South Carolina's here, but very sleepy. Nora, I understand the sleepy thing. And like I said, I actually have to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning to hit a flight first thing in the morning. So, whew. Jane says, no teasers, no bad news. It's bad news. It really is. It actually is terrible news. But we're going to get through it together. That's the cool thing. So, yeah. Anyway. And I'm not trying to tease, but I'm trying to tease. Yeah. But I'm going to put it early in the show, so you don't have to stay up much longer. I will get to it as soon as I open up the podcast. It's first on the list. Lick your upper palate. Yeah, I heard that late. And then also do this. You put your thumb there because it cools the upper palate. Sorry, it warms the upper palate, and that stops the brain freeze. So I completely agree with you, Lee. I don't think licking is effective as your thumb because your tongue temperature is as cold because whatever you drank or ate was cold. So Kenneth, Life Fit. Woohoo! I like it. I like it. All right, here we go. Episode 250 coming up right now. We're good there. We're recording. I guess it's just time to talk. Rockford, Illinois checks in. Let's see who, Coletta out of Rockford, Illinois. Caffeine-free teas. Karen, already got it. All over it. I am all over that record button. Here we go. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I really do. Like, I'm recording. Yep, we're 1 minute and 57 into the recording. I'm on the microphone. The screen's on. I don't know. I am your host, FatDag. You're listening to WhysAdvice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at fatdag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. All at WhysAdvice. Send in your comments, your questions, your celebrations. I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello there. Welcome to episode 250 of WhysAdvice. And man, did you ever think we would get here? I tell you, I didn't. It took me a while to even understand what a podcast was. But we're at episode 250, rocking and rolling, not stopping, going all the way to episode 1,000. That's kind of the goal, to at least get to 1,000 episodes. It'll take us some time, but we're going to get there. I shared with the live audience just before we went live. I shared with them I got a pretty decent update for you. I want to talk about what we did in Houston. I want to talk about some very, very sad news, something I've got to share with you, that something I figured out today that it just was absolutely devastating. I need to share that with you, get that out there, and then figure out have you help me recover from this tragedy. Got that, and then we'll talk about, I got an email from Kristen, and then we'll talk about the rest of the 2019 international tours we roll on. So that's all here. Let's go ahead and not delay much further. If you don't already, get the app, get the WhysAdvice app out of your app store. The easiest way to find it, if you go to your app store, click on WhysAdvice with FatDag, type it in. You can certainly go to fatdag.com and make the buttons very easy just to download the app there. Whatever it is, just get the app. I noticed I'm kind of running. I get an email from Apple telling me how many times the app is downloaded per week. And, it averages between 50 and 100 or so. This week was about 90 downloads of the app this week, and I was very, very excited about that. It told me the total revenue from that was $0. So it's a free app. Get out there, get to your app store, and pick it up. Eric checks in from Hawaii. Wendy checks in from Hawaii. I love the fact that you folks are in Hawaii checking in live on the podcast. Thank you for that. Thank you for being here. We have an amazing community in the WhysWingman Facebook group. Join us in there, will you? It's very simple. www.whyswingman.com. Get in there, get connected, and let's make it happen. So first up, I want to give you the update. I want to tell you some very, like I said, devastating news. I spent this afternoon, came home from work, and I was trying to make a quick change to the website. I wanted to add my retirement date calculator to the top of the website. So if you go to fatdag.com, you can see exactly how many days, hours, and minutes until my retirement ceremony from the Air Force. 27 years, 25 days in the Air Force, serving this nation in that capacity, all comes to an end in 154 days. Anyway, I wanted to get that website updated, and what I noticed was that the contact form on the website, send an email to me to get your email on the show, completely broken. So that means if you sent me an email in the past, my guess is 60 days, I didn't get it. No. That's devastating. That's absolutely not the way this is supposed to work. I did make the correction, but if you're sitting here going, man, I sent him an email, he didn't even respond. Sure, maybe I didn't, but more than likely, I didn't get it. Yeah, so not good at all. So here's what I need you to do. If you've sent an email and it didn't get featured on the show, go email it directly on air at fatdag.com. Shoot that to me. It'll come into my inbox. If you're thinking, oh, I never really did send one, well, now is the time to do that. I'm going to be gone for the next 4 or 5 days. Fill the inbox up. Let's get this thing rolling when I come back. We have plenty of content to go through. So that is not exactly the intent, and that was not the plan for how this was supposed to be. But that's the update there. I want to give you an update from Houston. We had a fantastic trip out in Houston. I was invited out there to speak at a chemical plant in Houston, Texas. And they invited me down. Janine and Megan were able to come down with me this time. And so that was an amazing talk. We kicked off the wellness campaign to a room of folks, about 50 or so folks in the room who were all ready to get motivated, get healthy, and just really completely change their lives. So I had the opportunity to share my entire journey. I walked through essentially the journey that I delivered to the Army as well. And I said, guys, here is what I want to deliver. Here is what I want to tell you. I want to tell you what my story is. I want to help you find your why. I want to ask you the 5 questions that we go through in the WhysAdvice podcast, and we say, why? What are your expectations? And do you believe you can do this? And what's the hardest thing you've ever had done in your life? And what's in your way? And what struggles are you facing? And then lastly, who was responsible for your success? We walked through all that, and tell you, it was amazing. Jennifer brought us out there. Jennifer and her husband, Darren, amazing host. The first stop in Texas, we weren't even, an hour off the airplane, and we already could smell, see, and taste amazing Texas barbecue. It was just fantastic. Truly one of the best barbecues I've ever had. Enjoyed every single second of that, but we had more so than that. The food was fantastic, but more than that, what was actually awesome was the company. We sat at their house for hours, and my daughter said it feels like a family reunion. And so we just had an amazing time hanging out with them, getting to know the family, and truly appreciate the fact that she brought us down. And then she coordinated, also the very next morning, I coordinated the first stop of the international tour. So she made this all happen. If you remember her from the podcast of the Indy Ultimate, she's from Huffman, Texas. She said, Mike, hush, you changed my life, hush. And she kept interrupting me. So that's Jennifer. So she brought us down to Houston, Texas to kick off the 2019 international tour. We had a 4.4-mile walk. There was about 30 of the wingmen out there. It was Texas cold. Not necessarily New England cold, but it was actually Texas cold. So we get down there. I'm wearing a sweatshirt and sweatpants, and we do a 4.4-mile walk. Some people stretched it out to about 7, but we had an amazing time just connecting as peers, connecting as wingmen, and just making sure that we were all on this journey together. It truly was the highlight of the weekend for sure. So that's what the international tour is all about. It's not about how fast you can run. It's not about how far you can go. What it's about is getting there, finding someone in the community who lives near you, who you can partner up with later down the road, that you have something in common with, that you can use together as an accountability system to help you reach whatever goals you want to set. It was an amazing opportunity for us to do that. After the walk, we went and had lunch at a Mexican restaurant. Really good Mexican food out of Houston. So it was good to get back into that environment. And we sat there for almost, 2.5, 3 hours at a table of about 20. I think we had a table for 20, and we had to pull in some chairs at that point. So it was just such a fun opportunity. That's what the tour is about. The tour isn't necessarily, I know you can walk on your own. I know you can run on your own. I get all that. But what you can't do on your own is find people quickly and easily, maybe outside your workshop you certainly can, but in a setting where really there's no judgment. Really you can be anything you want to be. You can do anything you want to do. We just all come together, wrap our arms around each other, give a nice big Texas hug, and say, I believe in you, and I'm here to walk with you. And whatever it takes, I will not leave your side. So that's what Houston did. Houston kicked this whole thing off. We're now rolling into Atlanta. Middle of February, we will be in Atlanta. I got to get the exact date. I think it's February 23rd or 24th, somewhere along that line. We roll into Atlanta. After we get that done, I will put that email. If you've already gone, go to FatDag.com, click on the international tour link, sign up. I will push all the details out for those interested in Atlanta only. I'll push it out to Atlanta. So you'll have that information. I'll find a walk or something that we'll do together, and we'll celebrate Atlanta style. So that's the deal there. So sign up on FatDag.com, get that squared away so that you already have the email in your inbox so you don't miss a single beat. You can do that. So that's the game plan there. So yes. So anyway, game plan again, just to recap, because a lot of folks in Facebook are asking, if you sent an email in the last 60 days or so, there's a good chance I didn't get it. If you sent it directly, it probably came in just fine. If you sent it through the contact form on the website, that's the one that didn't make it. So if you opened your email browser, you typed onair@fatdag.com, you typed out an email, I probably have that. Yes. If you went to fatdag.com and you filled out the form and you typed into the website the form, that's the email that I didn't get. So hopefully that makes sense for you. So go ahead and shoot me it again. This time I've squared it away so it comes directly to my inbox and we'll take care of it. The first email for this show, and I just have one for the show, but because I want to recap again, but Kristen writes in and she says, Dear FatDag, like many others, I've been listening to your podcast for some time now. I've considered writing in many times before, but I know that now is the time. You always ask us if we believe in ourselves. The truth is, I believe in myself more on some days and less on others. I've been on and off Weight Watchers my whole life. My most recently, I committed myself on December 26, 2018. I spent Christmas Day, my 41st birthday, stuffing myself and feeling completely miserable. I decided when I went to bed that night that I was done I was done living this way. Since December 26, I've worked to stay focused on my goals. I am online only, and I find posts from others that they're a lifeline that I connect to daily. I've changed the way that I shop, the foods that I eat, how I prepare my meals and my snacks. I work on increasing my water, and I strive to get activity daily. I've joined various challenges in Connect, and I celebrate those new challenges. I've been so proud of these accomplishments, and then about 5 days ago, I tweaked my back during daily routine. The pain has been overwhelming, and I've been unable to participate in any activity challenges. This has led to feelings of frustration and fear. I have proceeded to make poor food choices, and I only got the blue dot 3 days this week. I have eaten Oreos and chips, even though I have healthy options prepped and ready. I know that I'm sabotaging myself with emotional eating. Well, tomorrow morning is my routine weigh-in day. I'm afraid of a gain. I know that the number is just data, and an increase would accurately reflect my lack of activity and several days of emotional eating. But FatDag, I do not want to face that gain. It's almost as if acknowledging the gain will only confirm my fear that I will truly never really reach goal, destined to yo-yo back and forth with my weight. I know I need to reset and refocus. Thank you for letting me get it out on paper, and thank you for all that you do. Sincerely, Kristen. Highest weight, 221 on 11/12/2018. Current weight, 200.9. Kristen, let's go with the complete obvious here in your email. You started this journey 221 pounds. You got down to 200.9 pounds. You lost 21 pounds deliberately. You took the action. You took some focus. You got deliberate in your life choices, and you lost 21 pounds. You cannot lose 21 pounds on accident. Completely impossible, and stay healthy. So you can't do that. So what happens is I'm extremely proud of you for understanding that the journey that you're now on is going to be difficult. I agree with you. I get it. But you woke up Christmas Day the day after Christmas, the day after your birthday, and you made a declaration that completely changed your life. You made a declaration that I was done living this way. So many of us, when we start this journey, it starts with words just like that. You get to the point where you say, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I'm mad. I'm frustrated. Whatever it is, you say, I can't do this. and then you change your life. Now, what has to happen is you have to remember what that felt like at 221 pounds. It's why I ask people to write down your why when you start. Because 20 pounds later, it's sometimes difficult to remember just how miserable it was when we started. You forget the mindset that said, I am done, because 21 pounds later, you actually start feeling better. So you've done fantastic work, and I'm terribly sorry to hear about the injury that you suffered. But I want to offer you this. There is no rule in a weight loss journey that says you have to work out every single day. I'm a firm believer in exercise. But what I want you to know about it is exercise works on the mind first. It takes care of the body second. So the cool thing is you can actually take care of your mind without the exercise. Exercise certainly helps. So here you are, loving the challenges, loving everything that you've done, and now you find yourself at a point where you have to make a detour. You can't work out the same way you did. I'm going to guess to say that you can probably do something. Now, certainly I'm not a doctor, and I don't want to push you in that path, but what I want you to know is that unless you're completely immobile, then something counts at this point in the game. The more important thing is all the foods that you prepped, the way that you now shop, the way that you now eat better. That can happen regardless of your injury. So I get the mental side of it, 100%. I get the fact that not wanting to go see the number on the scale. I've said it more than once on this show. You weigh the exact same to the ounce, whether you hop on the scale or not. Hopping on the scale doesn't add weight. Not hopping on the scale doesn't subtract weight. You weigh the same whether you hop on the scale or not. So what I want to do for me is I want to hop on the scale so I know. I can tie the action to a number. And as I see it, I can say, okay, if I continue to do that, this is what the scale is going to give me. And that gives me the motivation to say, okay, I'm moving on. I see the number. I got it. I know the actions that I did. I know they weren't perfect. I know they weren't aligned with my goal. And they lead to where I'm at on a weight gain. So that's the game plan there. Is I would encourage you to say, own it. Don't let it defeat you. Don't let it frustrate you. Now, the cool thing is if you're hearing me say that and it doesn't make any sense to you, you have the option to go check in and not weigh in. You can go to your workshop and just say, hey, I'm here. I just want to check in. I don't even want to see what the scale. What I want to do is I want to work really hard this week and make sure that I come in next week with a much better game plan, much better activity, much better choices that leads to a much better number on the scale. You have that option too. So I guess what I'm trying to tell you is that you're still in it to win it. You're down 21 pounds, and I'm confidently going to say that a couple days of overeating didn't put 21 pounds back on you. Maybe a couple, but not 20, right? So you've got this. You know the Oreos and the chips aren't leading you to where you want to be. You know that. Let's walk together. Let's join in and say, okay, it's time to reset. It's time to refocus. Let me look at the things that I did to lose the 21 pounds in the first place, and let me repeat them. Let me wake up in the morning on fire. Let me jot down my why. Let me figure out why I'm doing this, and let me completely embrace that. Every day, let me wake up and say, I know why I'm doing this. Find a way in the middle of the day to remind yourself of why you're doing it. The self-sabotaging with the emotional eating, we know doesn't cure the journey. And I've said it to myself out loud while I was emotionally still eating. So again, I completely understand it, but what I can tell you is that it does get better. What you said is that you have a fear that you'll truly never be able to reach goal. I completely disagree. You're not destined to yo-yo back and forth with your weight. You're destined to do as much great as you want to do. I've seen countless people completely change their lives, and they did it exactly how you started. They changed their habits. They changed their eating patterns. They changed the way they shop. That is what makes this work. And then they stuck with it. There were days they weren't perfect, and they went right back to the new habits. I posted this the other day on social media. The habits that you develop, the habits that you have right now, The habits of waking up and the way you eat and the way you exercise or not, the way you come home from work and do whatever it is you do, the habits that you have that led you to join this in the first place have to be changed. Those habits lead to a workshop. What I want you to do is I want you to develop new habits that lead you to somewhere new. They lead you to something great. And you'll get to the point where all of a sudden you're down 21 pounds, 22 pounds, 23 pounds. And no, you're not going to be perfect along the way, but you're perfectly going to keep doing it. That's where the true success is. So Kristen, very proud of you for getting this out of your brain, putting it on paper. You've now released it. You've released it to me. This part is my responsibility. I take it. I own it. Your responsibility now is to get right back at it and go after it. I believe in you. I absolutely believe in you. I know you can do this because so many people have done it. And so many people at that point jump up and down for joy and celebrate. So before I end the show, I just want to continue to just go back into the recap of the international tour. That's I want to hit you with that real quick because the game plan is the tour shirts have been ordered. If you pre-ordered, that order has been submitted. You should get them by the time I come back from Florida. I should have them, and then I will get them out to you. That's kind of cool. Houston, done. Atlanta, coming up. New York is in March. April, we're looking at Phoenix. May is Tulsa. June is going to be a barrage of Toronto, Indianapolis, and then July will be up in New Hampshire, and August will be Tampa. And then September, October, November, not exactly sure. Seattle, Minneapolis, St. Louis, you're on the list. I'll get some dates out for you at that point. But so anyway, that is the deal here. Thank you all for tuning in. It looks like we had some issues with the live feed tonight. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with that, but the podcast certainly did record, so we're good there. Obviously, you're hearing my voice, so that's the truth there. So anyway, so that's the game plan. I want to see you on the tour. I want you to go to FatDag.com. I want you to click on the international tour link. Sign up. Let me know you're interested. I will get the details out to you soon. Together as a community, we jump up and down and we celebrate. And I want to know what it is that you're celebrating. Let's share it on the air. Go to FatDag.com. Click on the WhysAdvice podcast. Send in your celebrations, your comments, your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. You can email in at onair@fatdag.com. And I really want you to email in because when you email in, it does a couple things. It lets other people know that this journey is possible. It lets you release some of the energy that you kind of built up, and I want you to release that to me. Let me own it and take it. And then the last thing it does is it really just gets us as a community ready to rock and get it done. Prove that we are all in this together. So thank you for that. That's going to do it for this time. Remember now that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus. Why is my internet not work? Yeah, so the good news is we figured this out the other day. The good news is even though it freezes a lot, the replay does not freeze. So hopefully the replay will be completely smooth. So I apologize for that. I don't know. I'm only streaming to so there shouldn't be a streaming issue. So I'm not sure. Not sure what's going on there. But the episode did record, so I got that good news. Man, I tell you, frustrating as all get up. I tell you, that's the number one thing I hate is the technology side of this thing. It's just so difficult. But let's see. It looks like it's okay. Becky says, that is a great email. Very helpful on resetting the mindset. I thought so too. I thought it was a great email. So, Kristen, thank you for that. And Marcia says, okay, the picture is way off on the sound, right? I don't know. Anyway, the good news is you can watch the replay. The replay should run smooth. I don't know why it's acting up tonight. I wonder if I'm hardwired into the internet here, so I'm not sure. My computer is just not liking it. I don't know. Maybe it's internet gremlins or something. So anyway. Whew. Well, that's kind of the game plan there. So short show, I get it. So let's do this. Let's get this thing wrapped up. It looks like it's not fluid for you. I'll get this thing rebooted. I'll hop online and we'll figure it out. But that's the game plan. Apologize for the technical difficulties. Watch the replay, and we'll get it done. So with that note, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, as always, for walking this journey with me. I wish you good focus. And I'll be off the grid for 3 or 4 days, and then I'll be back Wednesday, and we'll get a live show in Wednesday. That's the game plan. So we will see you soon. Have a great night, and I wish you good focus. Bye-bye.